Hey everyone, I just wanted to get on and do a quick tutorial of how I'm achieving the Milky Way look with basically a modified saran wrap method with alcohol inks. And I actually found something pretty cool with this new technique that I think can work for a lot of other looks. So let me show you here. I know y'all have probably seen this tumbler that I did before, where I basically did the alcohol ink saran wrap method over it, and then I sanded it all off. So all you see is just these dark spots that are left, which I think look pretty cool in itself. But I've already done this tumbler once with this method I'm about to show you, and as you can see, these lighter color spots here, that's what I achieved with this method. But what I did was I went ahead and mixed the ink with the pouring medium. I applied it on my saran wrap, wrapped the cup, and then I was able to wipe it off and wash it off, and it left these, I don't know if you can see it real well on camera, but these light colored spots from the inks. So you get this just really cool transparent look from your ink, and it's not real dark. You can see it there, kind of picking up here. Like I said, this is the old saran wrap with just pure ink method. This here is saran wrap with the pouring medium and alcohol ink mixed together. So I thought that was kind of cool. But let me go ahead, so this is what it looks like right now. Trying to get my video, pick it all up, but so what we're gonna do is just take this pouring medium I showed you here. Doesn't take much at all. I mean, this is too much, but it's a little bit easier for me to not overcolor it when it has this much in it. The other thing I'm going to use is this Doc Martin iridescent calligraphy ink, basically is what it is. As you can see, it's light fast, it won't fade. It's for calligraphy, airbrushing, but it also works really well with a pouring medium. So it mixes really well. Sometimes with inks, they don't want to mix into the pouring medium real well, but this stuff mixes really well. You just want to shade up, and it literally just takes maybe 2 to 3 drops, depending on how much of the pouring medium you pour. So let's go ahead and stir this one up. As you can see, it's very milky looking, but this pouring medium does dry clear, so all we're gonna have is the tint of the calligraphy color in here. I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see the iridescence to it. Alright, and do our inks, and again, inks, alcohol inks, you can use whatever. I'm just going to use these colors on this one. It's kind of what's already on it. Again, you only need like a drop or 2. And another cool thing I found with this that I'm going to try and experiment with it, you can see it kind of likes to just sit on the top. I might try adding like a Floetrol or pouring medium layer over my tumbler, and then just drop inks on it and see what happens. But that's for another day. I'll do 3 in this one. Alright, stir these up. These do not like to mix very well with this, but it still gets the job done. And see, it just gives you a nice, pale, translucent color that's popular with the Milky Ways right now. Okay, get those mixed well enough, I think. And this is not like an exact science. You're gonna have to play around with you know, how transparent you want it. Of course, inks will, unless they're like a metallic ink, they're always going to be transparent. But you get your saran wrap, lay it down, out of the way. And basically, all you're going to do is to drip this onto your saran wrap. And I like to do it diagonally, just so you don't get these straight lines down your cup. And you don't need a ton, because once you get this on the cup, it is going to run some. So you might want to put this on the turner. You might want to just let it drip dry. Doesn't really matter, just kind of depends on the look you want to go for. I just kind of randomly put this across. And you just want to make sure your saran wrap is long enough. I'll have that over here off screen to cover your whole tumbler. Purplish, pinkish color here. I'm just going to randomly do this all over the place. And now we'll do the blue. It's really pretty blue. I didn't do this one earlier. So like I said, if you put this on the, wrap the tumbler with this and let it sit for like maybe a minute, and you wipe the tumbler off and then wash it off, you're just going to have that really light coloring to whatever you're going over, so it's kind of cool. Alright, so this looks pretty good. And of course, like I said, I probably have too much on here, but that's okay, because this is just kind of my test cup anyways. I've been doing all sorts of stuff to this one. Alright, so going to just basically, let's see over here, so where it starts. So I'm going to start over there and then just kind of roll my cup over and wrap the saran wrap around at the same time. I kind of like to start here-ish with enough where I can pull it over. I'm basically just going to wrap this up over here and just roll your cup. And this is always the fun part. You can see there it's wrapped. I do not leave mine wrapped. I go ahead and immediately unwrap it. So I'm going to not drop this. So now you can see we've got that Milky Way look. So if you can already see some of the thick spots there starting to run. So if you want, you can rotate it back and forth for a little bit to get it to stop running. Like I said, maybe throw it on a turner. But I think that looks pretty cool. The blue is very pale, as you can see, but you can see some of it in there. That's a really good spot right there. And I'm sure the Doc Martin calligraphy ink comes in different colors. I got some plastic or something right there. Alright. But yeah, I think the Doc Martin's ink, calligraphy inks come in different colors. I'm sure it does. But yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty spot on for a Milky Way look. I know it's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but it's definitely got that milky look to it, and I'm going to probably let it drip dry just to see what kind of look that gets. You can also put it on a turner, and I'm sure that would give it even maybe a different look. This shouldn't run too much, as long as you don't go too overboard with how much of the pouring medium that you use. But it is going to run a little bit. So I'm going to let this set for probably a couple days and see what happens. This pouring medium does take a while to dry, so it's not something that you want to cover up right away with your Diamond Finish Clear. You're going to definitely want to let this dry for the full amount of time that it needs. So I just wanted to add on to this video right quick. As I was sitting here kind of watching it drip, I realized that it's not something I'm going to want to have to deal with later on. So I basically, any spots that I saw that were, it's probably been setting about 5-10 minutes now, any spots that I saw that were really starting to collect or pool up, you know, in little drip marks, all I did was take a popsicle stick and then kind of just drag them out to kind of flatten them a little bit. So that's not something, you're not going to have to deal with some big drip mark later on. Basically just go around and find any really pooled up areas and kind of drag them whichever way you want. It's going to make it a lot less frustrating when you go to start going over this with clear coat. And I am going to go ahead and throw this on the turner, just so maybe we can combat some of those drips, because I did go a little bit overboard with my pouring medium. So yeah, I think it's just a good idea to get rid of any drips you see, and then probably put it on a turner so you don't have to deal with so much of that. I mean, you can let it run for a little bit just to get some flow to it in whichever direction you want. But definitely, once they're kind of where you want them, get rid of any of the drip marks and put it on a turner and just let it go for a little bit. Again, I'll post an updated video once this is all dry. But so far it's looking pretty awesome. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Thanks.